Hello everybody, this is Chef Jerky with Settlers Jerky, and today we're going to go through some grease trap steps. One of the aspects of owning a jerky plant is the ability to control your wastewater. And if the wastewater is over a certain neutral percentage, it's a $25,000 fine here in California. So I had to learn how to develop my own dosing, wastewater, and treatment systems. I was figure, I need to get my YouTube mojo on and figure out how to, get everything done. And I spend most of my time editing, but I'm gonna give it the best shot I can, and I'm sure I'm gonna get better at as I start filming and move on. So today's the grease trap. There's a dosing system. I'm going to show everybody how the dosing system works and how to run it, and it's not that difficult. A lot of companies want to seem to charge you $20,000, $30,000 for a system when it's about $5,000 for the parts. We'll build you a beautiful system. You just got to be smart enough to install it. So let's go through the step by step. All right, gang, so this is your local smokel grease trap. There's three of them. There's a main tank, there is a separator tank, and then you have the sample tank. Now, you are not allowed to dose into the sample tank. So if you look down in there, you'll see that both of my dosing lines go into this main tank and dose here first. By the time the water travels across here and gets into your sample tank, you're gonna have the correct pH after the sensors have noticed that a dosing needs to occur. So, all right, hello everybody, I'm back here. I know I'm out here in my white clothes and I'm not supposed to be, okay? I know that. This is my YouTube costume and I have several of them. I do not go in the plant after I've exposed my coat to the outside environment. That would be very improper, and you'd be a total dingbat, and you'd get an NR for wearing your coat outside in an outside environment. I know that. This is YouTube. I'm getting my YouTube mojo on. I'm figuring out how to broadcast and how to use my selfie stick and how to get things going. So we're gonna work with the rest of the grease trap today, and we're gonna go over the parts. All right, gang, one of the first parts is my air stirrer. This part right here, I drop in the tank and it stirs the air. Right here, here's your 3 pH sensors. Here's a pH sensor. Here's a pH sensor. I use automatic temperature control sensors so that when the employees are cleaning and it's hot water, you can get cold water and hot water depending on the days. So here's my grease trap. As you can see the 2 lines. I have 2 pumps. I have a backup system for everything, and I have 2 sensors, and they run into the main tank. They run in through that tube, into the main tank, and then I'm gonna dose into this tank here. By the time it gets over here, we're gonna have a corrected pH downstream. Let's go over some other parts. I just cleaned all this stuff today, so we're all good. This is my bucket. This is my dosing bucket. This goes in the plant. I'll show you guys where it is when it's done, but look at how it's constructed. It's 3/8 line. I use press to connect fittings. This is how I mix the tank. See the little holes? This is the bottom. So the heavy sediment wants to sit on the bottom of the tank, and this keeps everything mixed up. Then these are the pump. And you want to put a pre-filter on the pump. So what you do is you stash stainless steel in to the holes there, into the PVC, and that will keep the as you can see, it looks like I have plastic, and there's some contaminants in there that needs to be cleaned out. I do it about once a month. I take this all apart and clean everything, check and calibrate the system. Here's my 30-gallon bucket. Here's my mixing bucket. And my spoon, big. And this is the cart that it sits on inside the dosing room. And I take it outside and I get it all clean as well. So that's just some of the parts outside, and we'll go over this stuff when I put it together. Okay, gang, so I'm gonna put this all together, and then I'm gonna show you how it's all built. And if you can reproduce this, you can have a dosing system and keep wastewater off your butt. Keep that $25,000 fine away. And I'll keep wastewater happy. I want to keep them happy. If they're happy, I'm happy. Okay, so I'm gonna hook up the air stir stick first, and let's do that. Okay, here's my air stir stick. I'm gonna grab this. Go down into the tank. And set the phone down here so that, see what I'm doing. Hopefully I don't knock my phone down in there. That would be a real bummer. I'd have to go in the grease trap after my phone. Wouldn't that be gnarly? Okay, so this is air, and I'm gonna push to connect in there. And as you can see, I'm just gonna set that coil down in there. There it is. All right, see the air coil's down in there now? Here's the air coil. Da, 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 da. See the air coil? And what that's gonna do is that's gonna keep everything mixed up and keep the chemicals mixed up. Look how clean that grease trap is. That's clean. Everybody should have a clean grease trap. I got 2 dosing lines right here. Here's my dosing lines. My main dosing lines, okay, those go into the other tank and dose from the other tank. Because I didn't put a fitting right here on the other side, I run it around the other way and through. Then we got our 3 sensors. 1, 2, 3. Let's have a backup for everything, so that way you can tell if your system's off. If one sensor says you're at 10 pH, one says 6, and the other one says 8, you got some problems. So that's why I like to have 3. It kind of keeps everything calibrated. I'm going to drop those in. I'm going to keep them all at the same level. See? Now your pH controllers are dropped in there. I use 20-foot cords. I'm gonna step back. Okay, we're gonna go over this. You guys see the Brillo Pad? I don't know if you can see it, but I put stainless steel Brillo Pad in here. So when the employees load it full of chemicals, what'll happen is they'll suck all the chemicals in here, and then it goes into the pump and locks up the pump because the chemicals are not dissolved yet. So what we do is we load these full of stainless steel Brillo pads, and that keeps all the big chunks out of the pumps, and we'll keep it clean. Cool. All right. Now let's put the dosing tank together. We're gonna have the water, the intake. Stick this in here like this. Now I'm gonna go clean this and the room, and then we'll go through the rest of it. So, all right, I'm back. The grease trap's all locked up, and the manhole covers are back on. And now we're gonna go inside, and I'm gonna show you my dosing system. The inspector just drove through the parking lot and asked why I was outside in my white coat. He's like, "You're so busted." And I'm like, "No, I'm getting my YouTube mojo on, and I gotta figure out this is my YouTube costume." You know, I'll show you, I have several more that are clean that I wear in the plant, but no, you should not be outside in your white smock, and I just got caught outside, and the inspector's gonna make sure that my coat doesn't go inside the plant, so that'd be pretty good. But anyway, come on inside and let's figure out how this grease trap works. Da, 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 da. All of stuff. So what's behind me? What's behind me, folks? All right, I don't have my... So what's behind me is a Honeywell pH controller, and that allows the pumps to dose when the sensors tell them to pump. And I'm gonna let you know all the parts. I got a Dixon right here. I got my Honeywell right here. This is my doser sensor. I also have my control sensor. See that? Everybody see that? Uh-huh. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Okay. 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 All right, gang. Here we're back. Okay. This one doesn't like me for reading. It's reading 4:30. This one's reading 4. This one's reading 4. That's reading 4. See that? And that tells you that everyone's pretty much close, that they're reading the same. Now, what you're gonna need to do to build this system, you're gonna need to go to McMaster and Carr. You're gonna have to get a Hanna HI9910 pH controller. You're gonna need one Dixon chart recorder. You're gonna need 2 of these BL, that's what these are right here. Plus a manual override switch, a dosing switch, 3 pH sensors, a 30-gallon drum, 2 SureFlow pumps, 10 push-to-connect couplings, bunch of copper pipe. This is kind of how it works. It goes into the grease comes through here, comes over the top of here, comes over the top of here, goes to your sample tank, and then discharges to the city. So what I do is I dose in here, and by the time it gets to my sample tank into my sensors, then everything's correct. This is kind of the system that we're going with now. You can see my 3 sensors hang in here. This is my air tube that keeps everything mixed up. Here's my dosing. I'm gonna dose over here. So when these sensors say dose, because the water will be coming back through here, by the time it gets here, you'll have a corrected pH value. The air will also keep it mixed up because all the heavy particles, liquid caustic's gonna wanna sink to the bottom, and all your chemicals gonna be gone. And all that will go across here is low pH water. So that's that system. Thank you very much. Look at that. All right, so you need a dosing room or a chemical room to pull this off, and this is mine. It's got a door on it, it's got everything. I got my 2 pumps on the walls, as you can see, and my tank's in here. I also have some electrical, and this is my water filler. All right, so you mount both SureFlow pumps. You got coils over here which release the pump. These pumps will siphon continuously. So if you don't put a valve here to stop the flow, then they will continue to siphon all of your chemical out, and you'll have no chemical left because these pumps do not stop the volume. Once it starts the siphon, it will just keep siphoning. So you got to have these coils on each one of the pumps. Then what we do is we have our air mixer right here. Dun, dun, dun. One small coil from McMaster and Carr to air fitting, and it goes out to the grease trap and keeps everything mixed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug that into the air fitting so that every time it doses, it will mix with air. Then I'm going to take my pump. This is the chemical dosing pump. So each time my Honeywell chart controller says a dose, it lights up this outlet. It's gonna make bubbles and it's gonna pump. We'll be off to the races. Right now we're watching the dosing computer dose. And boom. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. This will conclude my Grease Trap 101 dosing for pH. And I'd like to thank you for watching. And remember, life is short. Don't waste it. Good day.